Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today we are talking about one of the most iconic animals on the entire planet, the giraffe. I mean, you know it the second you see it, right? But as we're about to find out, this animal is hiding some truly remarkable secrets.
You look at this absolutely majestic creature, and you think you've got it figured out. You see the towering neck, those super long legs, that one-of-a-kind coat. But behind that familiar shape is just a masterpiece of biological design, packed with some incredible solutions to nature's toughest challenges.
So in this explainer, we're going to peel back the layers and really explore the amazing engineering that makes the giraffe one of nature's true marvels. All right, let's start with the most obvious thing. Its incredible size. I mean, this is an animal that is just built on a completely different scale than almost anything else. A fully grown male giraffe can reach a height of 5.7 meters. That's nearly 19 feet. That makes it by a long shot the world's tallest land mammal. And just to put that into perspective for you, that is tall enough to peek into a second-story window. And, of course, that incredible height leads to the number one question everybody has. How in the world does a neck that can be over 2 meters long all by itself, how does that even work?
Okay, this is where it gets really fascinating. You'd probably assume they have dozens of neck bones, right? Well, get this, a giraffe has the exact same number of neck vertebrae as you and me, just 7. The big difference is that each one of theirs is incredibly long. They're all connected by these super flexible ball and socket joints, kind of like our shoulders, which gives them that amazing range of motion. And holding it all up is a massive ligament that acts like a powerful biological tension cable, which saves the giraffe a huge amount of muscle energy.
So the structure is amazing, but it creates another huge problem, doesn't it? How do you pump blood 2 meters straight up, fighting gravity, to get to the brain without the animal fainting every single time it stands up? Well, the answer is one of the most powerful cardiovascular systems in all of nature. The giraffe's heart is a muscular marvel. We're talking over 11 kilograms or 25 pounds, and it generates unbelievably high blood pressure. Now, to handle all that, it has specialized blood vessels that prevent a dangerous head rush when it bends down to drink. Also, the skin on their legs is extremely tight, acting like a natural pair of compression socks to keep blood from pooling at their feet. This whole system is so effective that scientists are actually studying it to help design better suits for fighter pilots and astronauts. How cool is that? And what about those iconic spots? We all think they're for camouflage, and yeah, they definitely help the giraffe blend into the dappled light of the savanna. But they have another, equally important job. Each dark patch is like a little thermal window. Under every single spot is a complex network of blood vessels, and each one has its own unique artery. This whole setup lets the giraffe radiate body heat out through the spots, basically turning its coat into a personal, built-in air conditioning system. So, with a head that far off the ground, how does this giant actually eat? Well, one of its most important tools is its prehensile tongue. And as you can see, prehensile just means it's made for grasping and holding things. It pretty much functions like a fifth limb to get at its food. And this just shows what an incredible tool that tongue is. A giraffe's tongue can be up to 20 inches long, which lets it delicately strip leaves right off the branches. Its dark blue or purple color is thought to protect it from getting sunburned during all those hours of eating. And since its favorite meal is the super thorny acacia tree, its tongue is coated in this thick, sticky saliva that protects it from getting poked. And if that wasn't enough, they can even close their nostrils to keep out dust while they're munching away.
Okay, so let's move on and see how all this incredible anatomy comes together in the giraffe's day-to-day life and its really unique behaviors.
Kind of like cows, giraffes are ruminants. That means they have a super efficient but pretty complex digestive system. First, they just swallow their food. That goes into a special 4-chambered stomach where it gets partially digested. Then, later on, they bring a lump of that semi-digested food, it's called cud, all the way back up that long neck so they can chew it again. It's a whole process that lets them get every last bit of nutrition out of some really tough plants.
And this chart really puts their day into perspective. Fueling a body this huge is a full-time job. I mean, literally. Giraffes can spend up to 18 hours a day just eating. They'll go through as much as 75 pounds of leaves. The rest of their time is pretty much spent rusting and chewing their cud. And here's the really astonishing part. Look how little they sleep. Often, it's just 30 minutes in total for the whole day, and that's taken in these tiny little naps that might only last a minute or two.
So a giraffe's height is usually its biggest advantage, right? It lets them spot predators from way off in the distance. But there is one time where that height becomes a massive liability, when it needs to get a drink. They have to do this really awkward splay with their front legs and bend that long neck all the way down to the water, which puts them in a super vulnerable spot. Luckily for them, they get most of the water they need from the leaves they eat, so they only have to risk drinking like this once every few days. Giraffes might look like they're just solitary wanderers, but they actually have a really complex and fascinating social life. So let's dive into that.
They live in what scientists call a fission-fusion society. All that means is that their herds, which are sometimes called towers, aren't fixed groups. The size and who's in the group can change all day long. Individuals can just come and go as they please, joining up for a little while before wandering off on their own again. It's a very fluid, very adaptable way to live.
And inside these groups, you can see some really clear differences between the males and females. Males, the bulls, are way taller and heavier. Their horns, which are called ossicones, are thick and often bald on top from all the fighting they do. Females, or cows, have thinner ossicones that still have these little tufts of hair on top. Behavior-wise, females tend to be more social. They form tight bonds and even create nursery groups to help watch over the young calves. Even the way they eat is different. Males stretch up to get the highest branches, while the females tend to eat from lower trees and shrubs. So how do the males figure out who's in charge? Through this incredible and really powerful behavior called necking. Now, this is way more than just a fight. It's a ritual where the bulls use their huge necks like weapons, swinging them to land these heavy, powerful blows. The winner of this intense showdown earns dominance and, crucially, the right to mate. And finally, let's talk about the giraffe's deep, deep importance in human culture, where it really stands out as this powerful symbol all across the African continent. Because of all its unique qualities, the giraffe carries some really profound symbolic meaning. Its height represents wisdom, the ability to see the bigger picture. Its quiet, elegant movements symbolize grace and peace. And its ability to thrive out on the savanna makes it a symbol of resilience. For some cultures, its incredible stature even makes it a kind of spiritual messenger, a link between the earth and the heaven. I think this quote just captures the essence of its symbolic power perfectly. The giraffe is an animal that has a view of the world that few others can attain. It's that unique perspective that makes it so deeply revered. So we'll end on this thought. From its incredible biological engineering to its quiet grace, the giraffe is so much more than just a tall animal. It's a symbol of seeing things differently. It really makes you wonder, what can we learn from a creature that sees the world from a higher perspective?